How's it going, everyone? I've picked up this cheap Kubota generator, AV1600. I bought it on Marketplace for sale. He only wanted $40 for it. It was apparently he got it from, backstory is he got it from auction, and when he got it home it wouldn't start, engine wouldn't move, kind of tore into it. Found that the valves had been dropped, or a valve had been dropped down inside, and he had no way of kind of retrieving it and couldn't find parts for it. So I think I might have a line on parts for it. The engine doesn't look like it's in too bad a shape. Everything looks pretty good. It's a little beat up on around the outside. I think that's the valve cover back in there, or it's on top. Either way, gas tank's got to come off. It's full of fuel. I took a little sniff. It smells good. There's only one. Well, there's a bolt missing there. One bolt, I guess, holding the gas tank. We'll get that off and see if we can get access to that cover and get started. Okay, got the gas tank off. It was pretty easy. One bolt on the far side over there, and it just slides out from under this lip and out. I just pinched off the gas line. Looks like this is our valve cover we were looking for to see what kind of shape we're in. I didn't expect these to be too tight. They are not. All right. Survey says it's a mess. All right, we have rocker, spacer retainer, nut still on there for that. That's supposed to go inside or there. There's our valve. Our valve is still in there. It still rotates freely. That's good. So our spring. We've got a push rod there. Oh, that's all good signs. Looks like we're missing a washer. Nope. Okay, well, this is easy to float up. We can put compressed air in the cylinder and it'll push it up so that we can lock it on. We just need to figure out what kind of retainer, and if it's hiding down in here somewhere. Oh, well, there's the top clip that goes on top of the spring like that. So then we're just missing some sort of keeper, and where those could be, like I said, I'm not sure if they fell down in there. It did look like on one of the pictures it might be inside the cylinder. Let's see, before we start really rifling through, let's put a bore scope in. Let's take a look inside the cylinder and let's see if there is indeed parts in there or not. And then I don't have to buy anything. That would be lovely. Just look at this. Yeah, there's just one little tiny retaining clip that goes on top. This guy actually sits, I have him this way, actually sits upside down like that. Little retaining clip goes on top of the valve and spring, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, let's get the bore scope and take a look. Okay, I got the spark plug out, bore scope in, kind of took a quick look. I'm going to see if I can show you what I saw. Let's back this out here. You see lots of garbage in there. There's that looks like the exhaust or the intake cylinder. The valve is open right now. Go over the other side. There's our fallen valve. And then if we go down there, right there, at the bottom where the valve is sitting, I thought it was maybe just the indent for the other one, but I think it's hard to tell if that's corrosion or if that's our clip. So I'm going to see if I can go down Either way, that should be the exhaust valve. That's the problem. It's coated in frost, I think, right now, but it's coated in garbage. And then, yeah, I think that's our little clip just sitting right down in there. So I'm going to try and get him out through spark plug hole and see if that's it. I'll poke around a little bit. And then, yeah, you can see like that piston is nasty. It's obviously had some run time or was lots of carbon buildup. But I mean, the walls look pretty good. There's a couple little scrapes there. It's just kind of nice to see. Oops. Inside sometimes. Yeah, you can see like a couple little scrapes right there, but the rest of the walls look pretty good. Okay, I'm going to fish around, see if I can get that out. See if that is something right there. All right, so on closer inspection, it was definitely just some debris. Sorry about the wobbly there, camera. Just some debris on the cylinder. I've got the valve held up just by an O-ring there, but I can't see down underneath this plate, so I got to take this plate off and take a look, which means this valve's got to come off, unfortunately. But then I can see what kind of retaining clip is on there. I might have one. I really don't want to pull the head. I don't think I'll have to. I really just don't want to muck with anything too much. So yeah, let's get this valve off. Let's get these studs out, and this plate should come off just like pretty much any other overhead valve. Okay, 14 for the bottom nut, 10 mil for the top. Loosen the top one, and they both should come off here. All right, one in the main. That's just like our other guy. I'm going to set these on the table just to kind of keep these guys separate as much as possible. I like to keep them on the same side. I don't think it really makes too much difference. Some it does. Rocker. He looks in pretty good shape. Okay, now we've got these two studs. Okay, so when we look down here, we can see this is the C-clip or cotter that we're missing from the other side, and what holds in that little groove of the valve stem. And then you've got your valve spring retainer underneath and valve spring. So that's what we're looking for, is that little kind of cotter pin. Now, you can see there is space where the push rods are. I don't know if it would have fallen down in there, if there's room to go or not. We have to get this plate off. If there's room to go all the way down, this goes down into the sump, into the bottom of the engine. That means I might be pulling the bottom off, pulling the engine. I don't want that cotter pin. I don't know who's been in here before me, and I don't want that cotter pin running through the engine because I'm sure it will cause some damage. But let's get these studs out, this plate off. We'll take a look down in here where the push rods go, the lifters, and we'll see what kind of space and stuff is down in there. Hopefully it's just down, sitting down in there. We can fish it out, but I doubt it. Okay, once again, these are a 10 mil, and depending on how well they're seated is how well they're going to come out, which might be very well. I don't want to break them off either. You usually don't have to take those out because the push rods can come out by themselves. My borescope's just not small enough to get down in there. I don't know. 10 mil. I'm going to see if I have a deep socket that might fit over those studs. Okay, my deep socket just made it over top of these. I managed to loosen them off. You can see it's not in very deep, but they did a little bit of thread locker on there just to make it a little more difficult. Whereas this one's still a little... There we go. Okay, and then we'll leave our push rods in there for now, just in case there's anything in there. And lo and behold, let me get you out so you can see this. I win. Looking down there, hey, there's our little C-clip just sitting right there, and he didn't fall. He was very close to falling. I'm just going to grab. There we go. Ha ha. So these are hard to find for parts. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so let's pull this garbage back together and then see if this engine actually runs. I know it's got a lot of carbon in there. So excited. That's awesome. Right on. And hopefully he's not bent. He looks pretty good. He doesn't look like he's bent or been misused. Yeah. Let's start trying to put things back together and see if we can get this thing running. Righto. Okay, studs and plate are done. Push rods are still in there. Looks good. You're straight. Let's do the hard to do valve and get him set, and then we'll do our rockers. Set our gap. I'm gonna have to look at what it is. I'm sure it's going to be around intake probably 6,000, exhaust 7 or 8, somewhere in there. Yeah, sorry, I'm still excited. I'm going to go get some compressed air, and that should push that up while we're trying to get it set into place here. All right, I did notice a problem. As I was trying to put stuff back together here, it's going to show me putting on the spring clips. And I realized the retaining clip and the cotter, let's show you this. So it does not hold. This one is very chewed up, almost like it was either bent or broken. So I pulled the intake side off just to show you how, oops. So this side should be a little more fuller, have that center part, and then this sits kind of inside it. So this one, so that might be little bits of metal we saw in there and all over. Is just little bits from that, which is too bad. I really don't want to run that through. I'm going to try to flush it. So I need one of the retainers here. This one is no good. Luckily I did see some for sale on, I think, Evil Bay, and as other people would say. So I'm gonna see if I can get those, and then I'll get back to you when we get it. And I guess while we're waiting, I'll just show you how I put the clip back in. I've got the spring goes over top, retainer, spring retainer, and then our clip. I just take a wrench. This is a 16 mil that just happens to fit over that. We push it down, and drop our clip in. Easier said than done sometimes. Sometimes it's easier to do with a bigger wrench or different or a spring compression tool. But yeah, that's about it. All right, well, it's a few days later and I managed to get my part. I cleaned up the valve cover there and a few of the parts and cleaned up a little bit in there, all the little bits and stuff I could find. This is the part number from Kubota. I actually found it through a local Kubota tractor dealer. They're actually quite friendly and helpful. It cost me a whopping $3.20, so worth it to see if we can get this engine running. In the meantime, I did change the oil. I pulled off the air filter, which is just 2 clips, and checked it out. It was pretty clean. Yeah, the oil was disgusting dirty. Didn't see any bits in it at all. Just really old, dirty. So let's get into putting these valves back together. Okay, I've set a little bit of pressure in the piston, just kind of plugged the spark plug hole and pulled up the valve, and then pull the handle till it gets tight. I can't find my air compressor fitting. Anyway, here's our new spring retainer. I've got our little clip there, and I'm just going to use, actually these are pretty light, so I'm just going to push down on this wrench over top of our valve, get this down a little bit, and then tuck our keeper in. Easier said than done. Dropped it. Okay, I've got this held up by some air. I'm gonna get this on here before my air leaks out because I've got a poor connection. Okay, got air in there. Holding that valve up. Let's see if I can get this down and put a keeper on it. Okay, push down. Put a keeper. All right, that took me a few shots to put on. You can see now our new valve retainer and our little cotter pin is in there, and hopefully for good. The other side, about the same. And we're just gonna lightly tighten down the rockers here, each side. Still they're a little bit above loose. I have looked online extensively trying to find the specs for these, and I can't. I mean, some of the gas engines, they range around 6 thousandths. Some are clearance are 7 or 8 thousandths. So we're going to split the difference at 7 and see how we do. All right. And just take our feeler gauge. And we just want it to be able to drag ever so lightly on it. And we're going to put our retainer nut on. And usually the exhaust valves, I know, are a little bit, there's a little bit more clearance. So we're going to, that's what this one is. It's the exhaust valve. And so we've got a 14 mil, I believe, bottom, yep. And we've got a 10 on the top. So grab my 14 over, and we're just going to tighten this down lightly. And I'll recheck. That's 8, barely fits through. Let's try 9. Yeah, 9's getting through, so it's a little bit much. We'll tighten them down a little bit more. Okay, a little back and forth, but those are now set to about 7 thousandths each. Intake might be a little bit closer to 8, but close enough. Looks like they're both kind of doing what they should do. And I am getting a good little kick of air coming out of the plug hole over there every time I do that. So I guess the next, the next thing to do will be to see if we have spark. And then, like I said, I've already changed the oil, cleaned the air filter, and I just want to see if it runs. There should be fuel in the bowl already. So see if it has spark, and then yeah, let's give her a pull. Okay, let's see if we can show you this right in there. Yep, there's spark. It's a little light, but we're barely touching here, so barely touching on there. That's pretty good. Let's plug it in and see if it runs. All right, so I changed my mind. I just took a little kind of sniff of the gas coming out of the carburetor, and it is quite rancid. So, I mean, I decided I might as well drain it. There's a little screw right here. Help drain down anything that's in the carb. Then I'll take the bowl off. Let's see if we got any sediment in there. We got a little sediment filter right here. We'll also take him off gently because he's plastic. Hopefully he just unscrews nicely. And then we can put fresh fuel in the tank and hopefully it'll just run after that. So yeah, here we go. Open this guy up. And this guy right here, not sure what size he is. This is an 11 mil 10. Yeah, 10 mil. Yeah. I just don't want to break him because, I mean, who knows if we'll be able to find one of those. Square, square. There we go. Hopefully he's not just friction pressed in there. We can get him out. Should screw in. Yeah, here it comes. And it's gonna be hard to see. But yeah, there's a bunch of junk in there. So I'll go clean him out. And we'll screw him back in. I think the car is just about done draining. And much better. There. Okay, let's pull bowl off. I checked him, he was 12. Not a lot of room to work. Oops. As you can see, you have to pull the whole kind of front end to get the carb off. I really don't want to do that today. There goes that. And definitely a tight fit. And bowl isn't that bad. It's got a little bit of junk in the bottom. Something green and growing. But just give that a quick clean and we'll throw everything back together. Alright, and nice and pretty. And we'll see if we can get them back in there. And remember to put this little screw hole facing out, because I'll probably end up trying to do it the other way if I'm not careful. Guess I should have left this guy off. Would have made life a little easier. Let's see if I can unscrew him. Yeah, that's better. Work smarter, not harder. Is that what they say? That's good. Put our little screw back in. There we go. And make sure that this is turned. That should be off, I think. And then we'll hook our tank back up and give this a go. Okay, doke. Carb is back together. Fuel sediment little bowl there is on. Tank is back on and screwed down. We're going to open our fuel here, check for leaks. Nothing. Now make sure like this works. I'm going to crack the bowl and just make sure we are getting fuel into the bowl. It's a nice little way to tell here. Ooh, yep, dripped right away. And everything should be clean on that end. Obviously didn't do the jets or anything. We've got fuel in. I'm gonna pull choke on. Make sure we are set to run on the front. And well, yeah, let's give her a pull and see what happens. I don't see any fuel dripping out of the front. It's good. Well, considering we're running on a metal table and with a bunch of tools sitting there, pretty good. That was like an easy single pull, second pull, started right up. Should probably see if we restart now. Light works, so both 110 outlets work. I don't have anything that plugs into the bigger outlet, but that'll work. Let's give her another pull, see if we start back up. And maybe a little choke, maybe a half. So half, yep. Full. Oh, it helps if I turn it back on. So turn that off. Valve job, valve recovery, clean out a little bit of the fuel, and that's it. We have a good Kubota generator. And as usual, I think I'm going to call it there. That's kind of a win for me. I mean, it sounds fantastic. The oil's been changed now, fuel's fresh. It's ready to go to work, back to work. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And should be lots more generator type videos coming. I've just kind of purchased a bunch, so hang in there and hopefully they'll be out soon. Thanks for watching.